Hey everybody, welcome to AJS News. This is the first of two videos we got for you today.
But first, a new word from our sponsor. Who's our favorite VPN, guys? Is Surfshark. Why do we use Surfshark?
You could definitely be the coolest one, help your friends and family, share the password to unlock cooler stuff on Netflix.
And there's also some legislation going on in the U.S. right now, and the people need VPNs more than ever.
That's right. Get around any sort of blocking at all. Access the content that you want to access, including, like what Joe said, on Netflix. Get a whole library of new stuff to you. Plus, the most important reason that we forget all the time is protecting your data. Yeah. It's really important, guys, especially in this day and age on the internet. That's why we use Surfshark. Guys, you can get our deal at surfshark.com/angryjoeshow, and that's going to get you 4 extra months. Click the links down below. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully you enjoy the video. Check it out.
Guys, it is super important to not only take care of your data, but to get around. There's all sorts of geo-blocking happening here in the United States. There's some services that people rely on.
You need a VPN now more than ever, we'll say.
A little bit better.
Click the links down below and get yourself set up.
Get yourself a helping hand.
There you go.
Get yourself a VPN.
And so in AJS News, the top list videos took a little longer because I got to take all the footage of hundreds of hours of all the stuff we've covered and then our streams. So next up is top 10 most disappointing and then top 10 worst. So it's going to be quite a week this week. So stay tuned because disappointing is next. And then we'll have top 10 worst games. That's always a fun list. Yes. And then the rest of the list coming in the week following. Best movies, worst movies. I think we have enough this year to experiment with a TV show list, like a combined best, worst TV show. I've got something. And then maybe a most anticipated list. So stay tuned. A lot of top lists coming. We kind of saved January for that. And yeah, we're good. So what else? What has been going on in gaming news?
Well, you mentioned disappointing and worst, and this game may fit into one or both. Starfield. Yeah. So
disappointing for me.
Yeah, especially even with its new DLC out, but they got talking to the senior artist Dennis Mehilones, and was saying that the game was intended to be gorier than what got delivered. There was going to be, corpse explosions, and when you lasered someone's arm off, you would see, like when it got cut, you would see blood and a stump and stuff like that. And then they sanitized the whole thing, and they're,
How they just pop up.
Yeah, and then
it
turned into like a bloodless, lacking impact experience, and
awesome.
And then it was removed because of a combination of technical and thematic reasons. Technical reasons because they're using an old engine and things are hard to work when you're working with an ancient engine that absolutely needs to go. But then also they said that they were really going for. He specifically mentioned Star Trek. And The Expanse is what they were kind of going for. But
I haven't seen really those shows.
Yeah.
There's really only 1 or 2 Star Trek moments that gets kind of gory and juicy, and they're considered some of the better moments of TNG when the guy gets phasered in the face and his face just kind of peels back layers. It's crazy.
Yeah. The other thing about the Star Trek and The Expanse is the writing for them is good.
Yeah.
And the writing for this is
bad.
Bad. And so to make up for some of the writing, like in some of OJ's things that he does watch,
real bad.
We do get gore and body horror and some other things to make up for the fact that the writing is terrible.
But you don't want to be Starborn? It's so cool. You have the power of the sun.
Do you?
The Dragon Ball?
It only makes people a little warm, though, right? Like,
It's the worst.
Yeah, that really sucks. I really want
to
have it be more grittier and gory, especially with their expansion one. Was it Shattered Space?
Yeah.
Once you leave the ship, they told us it's going to get bad. It's like, no, how bad? I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
I'm bored already.
Yeah, the best part was walking through that little tunnel to the ship, and then that was it.
Yeah. So.
Even then, there weren't ghosts. I thought there were ghosts. I was like, oh,
Space ghosts?
Space ghosts. No, they're not ghosts.
Oh.
I don't know what they were.
Kinda.
Yeah. Well, remember, they want it to be realistic. There's no ghosts.
Shattered Space sucks.
Yeah.
As well as, unfortunately, Starfield.
Yeah. Speaking of another game that didn't do so hot, Godfall was a PS5
I
launch
remember
title.
Godfall.
I remember and I forgot.
Yeah,
You remember and then you forgot.
Yes.
we played it for a short period of time. Everything was real shiny, and it was not great. It wasn't the worst. It just wasn't great. But its developer Counterplay has reportedly shut down.
Oh, wow.
They had a partnership that they were working on with another company, Jackalyptic, and then apparently things fell through, and they are no mas.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like kind of like a Destiny thing, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
One thing that we're going to be talking about a lot probably this week is Sony and its failures and its fuck-ups and its decisions. And Godfall was one of them, right? Like, we don't know where, if Sony's like, hey, this is the type of game we want you to make, but it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they have now shut down.
Oh, wow. Okay, that sucks, but, I don't know. That's kind of the way of games. Hopefully, these people who developed it get another chance at another studio on making something awesome.
In much better news, new studio from named Rebel Wolves. It's founded by Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 devs.
Yeah.
Put out a video this week.
Hey.
It's called Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Yeah, we got a video
Dawnwalker.
up right now checking it out. And I got a little annoyed in the comments. You can find my comment there going off on some guy. It's like, where it's like, don't talk over the trailer. It's like, yeah, but you can watch the trailer wherever you want. This is our commentary on it. Why are you just clipping highlights from it? Well, because it was a 45-minute stream. If you want to see the full version, it's right there in the link. It's like, damn, man, I get yelled at. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, here, these are the important bits of my reaction of what's going on.
So you don't say anything. It's like, why are you even
Why
loading
you not
yourself?
saying
You're not even
anything?
saying anything.
Right. If we're quiet during the whole review and just speak at the end, then everybody's like, what's the point in that? Why are you just watching the trailer? And then people will drop off. They won't watch the end, and they won't see the fucking impressions. Fuck!
Well,
Everything sucks!
It would also be against.
Yeah.
Just shut up!
Technically,
Why the fuck am I reading YouTube comments?
Yeah, you shouldn't. People on there are not very smart.
All
It's
right.
Technically it would be against the law because of the fair use. It has to be transformative, and simply watching something and sitting there is not transformative. And commentary at the end, if they wanted to claim it, they could. But so if that's why if you're wondering that's why. But they put it out, and it looks good. If you like the idea of vampires rising up,
I do.
in during the
Not
Black
Twilight vampires, but actual vampires. That's
Plague. Are you saying Twilight's not? They're
Those
not real vampires?
No, they're sparklies. We call those
Nosferatu
sparklies.
is plagiarism. Okay.
Nosferatu.
Okay, just plagiarism. We don't support plagiarism. Movie's good. You should go watch it. But yeah, so it comes out. It's going to be taking place in medieval Europe during the Black Plague. You play a dude named Cohen who's kind of learning this vampire shtick, and it looks really interesting. If you like that kind of like dark fantasy RPG, which I do very much.
I'm hoping this comes out around the same time as Vampire Masquerade Bloodline 2 comes out.
Oh.
Because that would be
compare and contrast, like, the
that'll be an
quality.
interesting fight between the two games.
Vampire fight. My
That's
money's
been-
on
I feel like
Dawnwalker.
Yeah, I feel like Dawnwalker has their
Dawnwalker.
shit together
Dawnwalker.
more. It just feels like they have a vision.
Yeah.
They have everything they were saying in that trailer speaks to me. These are the creatives. These are guys that know what they're doing. Now, it's a new studio, it's a new game, so I would anticipate there's probably going to be some issues with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Witcher 1, when it first came out, was kind of rough, and it got better, and now you see that we're all, experiencing some great games from. So we'll see if they can release in a good state.
Yeah, the other one has a lot of issues. How many rewrites? A lot.
Oh, Bloodlines? Yeah. Well, the new creative director and new team and the new team, and we'll have to see. I don't think you're going to be any better at the second one.
Oh, probably not, but he sounds so much cool like a mafia guy. He's like, I'm the Dawnwalker.
Yeah.
Dawnwalker.
That's Dawn.
Dawnwalker.
Dawn's
I
here.
thought he's like some, Hispanic guy. And
It's
he's like-
Dawn.
he's sexy. So we already got our parodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean he only walks during the dawn?
Yeah.
He can only
Dawnwalker.
come there.
Yeah.
That's a very short period of time, and he got to
Exactly.
get everything done.
That would suck.
In our super important story.
Stop getting away all our goddamn parodies, Joe.
That's years away. We'll be
It
fine.
is.
People will forget.
Yeah. This is a super important story, and not for but just The FTC has said that Genshin Impact deceived children and have ordered its publisher to pay $20 million in fines.
Shit. Well, it does.
Yeah,
They're absolutely right.
And it's over its loot box policy. So it says Genshin Impact deceived children, teens, and other players into spending hundreds of dollars on prizes they stood little chance of winning. Now, they have agreed to pay the fine, though they said many of the Cognosphere has said many of the FTC's allegations are inaccurate. They don't appear to be inaccurate. But the full thing says they deceive players about the odds and cost of winning prizes in loot boxes and uses a challenging and confusing purchasing system that misleads consumers about the amount of money that players spend on loot boxes on an ongoing basis and the amount of money that players would likely need to spend to obtain certain prizes. Now, you don't give a shit about Genshin Impact, but this sounds a shitload like Madden, where they're using confusing tactics to be like, hey, you have the opportunity to get a 99 somebody, and then and then you don't know what the chance is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, does Madden use real money, or do they use like Madden coins or tokens?
Yeah, I mean, it's real money to get the Madden tokens or to get the Madden currency, which then you spend on the.
So all of these things hit exactly the same things that hit on Madden, and so this is a smaller fine based on a smaller amount. But also, the FTC also was successful in reaching a $520 million settlement against Epic Games over Fortnite doing similar things with, they called it dark pattern usage, which is deceiving players into not understanding how much they're spending, deceiving players into clicking on things they wouldn't necessarily click on. And
I wonder if this would all, eventually, if we move from the stupid fucking currency to just displaying the price right there, is how these companies will get around it eventually.
Well, these are the things that they're going to have to do. From now on, children under 16 will not be allowed to purchase loot boxes without parental consent within Genshin Impact. All loot boxes available for purchase with virtual currency will also be made available for direct purchase using real money, so you'll know exactly how much things actually cost. Loot box odds and exchange rates for multi-tiered virtual currency will be accurately disclosed and not misrepresented, which is what they were doing before. And then it goes on to say you're not allowed to collect information from kids. But now they're going to be listing, it's like, hey, you want to buy this Ultra Panty Pack? This Panty Pack costs, like 22 Bazinga coins or 99 cents, and people will be able to see what the crossover is. So I don't necessarily care because it's Genshin Impact, but this is actually pretty big for the video game industry in general. Yes. And people need to be nervous because there are a lot of companies doing very, very similar things. EA is being one of them. They make all of their money in MUT mode and in
football.
What's the FIFA or not? Definitely not.
It's not FIFA anymore.
Not FIFA, but that mode.
EA Sport or no FC Sports. Something like that.
EA Sports FC. And so they do all of these things, and I think that it would not be unrealistic for us to be talking about that in the future. And the fines could be great, like massive, because they make $1 billion a year almost in microtransactions.
Yeah. Well, now you could pay like $100 for that 99 Patrick Mahomes that you like. Comes with referee guarantee.
He comes with referee.
Referee guarantee.
Yeah.
You get hit, flag.
Yeah, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
No one's allowed to touch that man.
Oh, yeah. They actually, police show up on the field and arrest the defensive player and haul him directly to jail.
And if he gets injured, they execute you right on the field.
Yeah. Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
You breathe on him wrong? Straight to jail.
Yeah, and they'll add a new button where he can run out of bounds and then flop like he plays soccer like an asshole. Yeah. And then people...
And if you look at him wrong, that is also jail. That is jail.
Somebody hated him.
Straight to jail.
Okay.
Yeah. When the announcers are calling you out on it, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and then in a big Sony news, we were talking about it earlier, Sony has confirmed cancellation of live service projects from both Bend Studios and Bluepoint Games.
Because they did have a lot, I remember that.
We originally talked about 12 live service games that were in the works. They closed half of them at the time.
Yeah.
And this is not included in that half. Like, there is more stuff coming. This is following a recent review of the projects. This is according to Bloomberg. And it reiterated that PlayStation is dedicated to making online and single-player games, but these ones just apparently were not up to snuff. And they just, they had this major loss, probably one of the largest video game losses in the history of the industry with Concord.
Yeah.
And they just don't want more of them, and they don't want to take the reputational hits of putting out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, a God of War live service that no one actually wants.
No.
It's like, I want God of War games, and I like God of War, but
What's the purpose of it, though?
money.
No
Well,
more.
yes, but
see,
besides that, for
this is-
gamer's perspective.
Good news, because we don't need more live service games, especially ones that are just predatory, that are just designed. Yeah, there might be some good game elements here and there, but it's like literally
Overall,
designed to
no.
suck you dry.
No.
And they were done poorly. And eventually the market can't even sustain too many fucking live services. You can't play these games like they're your job. When you go to you work, then you come home from work and you go to fucking work, basically, to unlock shit, you know?
That's
It's like,
different.
fuck that.
Fast food sim.
Yeah.
Well, that Joe's playing Fast Food Simulator, and it's
You'd think
taken
he
him
would be
forever to unlock lettuce,
Well, he doesn't like lettuce, and he's also
mustard.
He's
I
bad at
have
the
you
game.
know I'm
You
almost
would-
at chicken nuggies.
You would think that your restaurant would launch with mustard.
You gotta work your way up to the
Ketchup.
top. Your
Plain
lettuce,
burgers.
tomatoes, and
Me
onions.
and Joe would go there. That's why he opened it, because me and Joe, we're plain guys. You know, we don't put much on our burgers sometimes. So
That's a different kind of job, though. I don't want to do live service. They should just take their best
that is a live service.
live service and have that one and cancel everything else. Just have one.
Just one? Just
Just
Destiny
one.
forever?
Just one.
Or whatever they think is the next best one. Work on that one and then cancel everything else.
All right. I'm down for less live services. No,
Yeah.
I don't care about them. Put your focus and money into much better. I like single player. I like full multiplayer experiences, first person shooters, RPGs. We don't need to be making a ton more live service.
No.
The market just can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big problem that I personally have is that it's just low quality gameplay, because
Yeah.
it's like I played 150 hours of Path of
Grindy
Exile
as
2, and it's like that's going to go on for that's technically a live service game. It's going to go on forever, but it's a high quality game. It's a company that put effort into it, and Sony has been putting that kind of effort. Like, they've got Bungie doing barely passable expansions constantly, pissing
Even
people
they don't
off.
want to play.
Yeah, and
They're
it's like,
done.
so it's like, we don't want these low quality ones. Like, yeah, hire good people to make good quality games, and I'm sure but you keep hiring people who, you know, outlaw criticism within the office, and that's how you end up with a $400 million loss, an egg on your face. So,
Yep.
all right, tell me about Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, so I found
A new game?
So right now, I think I read an article that Space Marine 2 was doing very well for Games Workshop. It was like royalty, 16 million pounds, went up to 31 million pounds. So they're doing great. They want to focus on licensing some things. But I did run across a report, and they're looking for the next big Warhammer game, which
Slanesh
is good.
RPG.
Yeah, right.
That would be dirty
Mature.
and gross. And
Have you been on the internet? The internet is dirty and gross.
Not anymore.
They're
Cancel
probably going to stay
everything.
away from that one. But if you play Slanesh, just announced, guys, in the world of 40K tabletop, Emperor's Children is finally getting their own codex, their own army officially. So if you don't know, there's 4 Chaos Gods in 40K. Alex's favorite is Nurgle,
He
Daddy
just
Nurgle.
wants to make soup.
He just wants to make everybody live forever in a pustule, disgusting vomit and
Yeah, but you can't smell or feel, so it's fine.
and just a zombie, gross snot zombies. And then there's Khorne, which is blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. There's Tzeentch, who, you know, Thousand Sons. I like them a lot. He hates him. He's not my number one. Tzeentch is so cool.
But they utilize him in the dumbest way. They're like, he's the mastermind. He's like
a
Thrawn.
mastermind.
He's like Thrawn in Ahsoka, where it's like, conceptually he's this big, but in actuality he's like, my secret plan was to
And then there's
sneak up behind you.
Slanesh. And the armies, they've always had 3 armies. They didn't do the Slanesh army. Now they're finally doing it. And they're bringing noise marines. Yeah, but they're not the design that I like. I like the heavy metal guitar guys. It's just like these big speakers and stuff. But they're still cool. Brand new Primarch coming. Primarchs are like the super badass, you know, huge centerpiece models. Fulgrim is coming. Oh, I can't wait for it. So we're definitely doing videos on that. As I emailed Games Workshop, I'm like, get me in on this. But so they're doing well in video games. They're doing well in the tabletop. So I was surprised when I found out an Warhammer RPG got canceled last year. What? So who's this? Let me see this. A report by MP First details post by former employees of the developer known as Thought Pennies. And let me open a window to see if I can find any of their previous games so we can get an idea of what it was. It's a role-playing game studio creating games focusing on social storytelling, who had an unannounced Warhammer game listed on their LinkedIn. That doesn't sound too good, right? But as with many other companies, Thought Pennies have been affected by layoffs recently. 2 months ago, they posted this, 3 years, we built something amazing, we never missed a milestone, our feedback was great, partnership strong. We went from 2 people in a PowerPoint to a team of 60, heavily vetted, incredibly independent, passionate. Our publisher changed strategic directions, and our previous project is now without funding. So this change meant that Thought Pennies was required to shrink the size of the studio, while Ericsson did not specify what the developer was working on at that post. Others who previously worked with the company listed an unannounced Warhammer project being made in Unreal Engine 5 on their own pages. One stating a live service RPG had been canceled. Oh, God, I think we dodged a bullet then. Good. What do you mean, a live service RPG? Well, that was just how one of the previous developers
I
talked about
actually
it.
do want a live service ARPG. I would like the Inquisitor Martyr, like spiritual sequel. Like, I think that fits really well. It PoE with Warhammer stuff.
Sure. Not all live service games are bad.
Yeah.
We want to clarify this, that if you do it right, it's just in the majority of time they're not done
Path
right.
of Exiles, Helldivers.
Another posting described the game as a third-person co-op PvE action RPG with a cast of unique heroes and playstyles. I can already see the live service bit, so it's like, Eisenhorn, and then they release another well-known, Saint Celestine or something like that.
It has to be Titus because they love the goddamn
Titus,
blueberries. And
Ultramarines, and then you're going against, maybe in a squad of 3 or 4 doing melee and ranged combat against monstrous enemies set in a dark fantasy world. Sorry, this is not 40K. This is original. This is fantasy. So it would have been, I don't know, Freud, what's the fucking guy? Manfred, something like that.
Siegfried and Roy.
Yes, Siegfried and Roy.
Dark Fantasies, Unleashed Tigers.
Yeah, so, and this report follows, earlier in the month where Games Workshop is looking for the next one to follow Space Marine 2's success last year.
They have a bad habit of giving the license to people who, in my opinion,
they've gotten better
don't
about that.
Deserve the license.
This is Alex is speaking truth.
Yes, he would
5,
sticks.
10,
Still a whole
15,
bunch of
20
shit in
years
there.
ago, they'd give the license to anybody. And they made some stinkers, quite a few of them. They're all delisted from Steam, and some hidden gems like Man of War that I still would like to play. But Games Workshop CEO Kevin Roundtree said last week that we recognize the success like these for Warhammer are not a given in the world of video games. So clearly we're looking for the next one. We remain cautious when forecasting
royalty
income.
Just give $200 million to Larian and just be like,
boom,
go,
there you go.
Go.
Fuck yes.
Go.
I would play a Larian RPG in the 40K or fantasy or Sigmar or more anything.
Or
yeah.
Slanesh Vampire
No,
Masquerade, but with Slanesh.
Slanesh is gonna be it's gonna be so mature that nobody's gonna be able to buy it.
Start out that
It's gonna
way.
be triple X.
The Chaos Gods don't start fist deep. They start with a gentle finger.
Yeah, by the end they're fist deep.
Yeah, but so that we start with the gentle finger.
Oh God.
What? First knuckle.
Anyways, moving on. In other Warhammer news, Games Workshop, we think, pretty soft confirmation. They're finally bringing the Total War Warhammer 3 Grand Cathay army to tabletop. So this writer may not know that Grand Cathay already existed in the fantasy universe. They just never really fleshed them out. They never had a book for it. Well, I mean, they were in some books, but they never had a tabletop army fleshed out completely. And then they kind of got put in Legends, and all the other factions were focused on. And then when the game came out, they were like, what can we do? New exciting stuff. Grand Cathay, and it's been a hit. I think their units are so cool. I love those dragons, the ancient style dragons and huge lumbering warriors. Games Workshop recently at one of the reveals just put an old world roadmap. And this is where a lot of these because they brought the old world back because they replaced the universe with Age of Sigmar. But it was so popular that they brought the old world back. And so in that roadmap, there's like a missing image, and then you can kind of see. So people are speculating that this would be the Grand Cathay. So stuff to come. So far released is the Kingdom of Bretonia and the Tomb Kings. There's a battle report of me and Jay playing those. Orc and Goblin tribes were next. Then the Dwarves came out. Then the Warriors of Chaos. The Empire of Man. High Elf realms have just been revealed. And then the more to come is the Beastmen. They got ex-nayed from Sigmar and put into the old world. And then the Wood Elves. And then after that, it's going to be Grand Cathay. So probably sometime in 2025, the chances seem good for that. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that, because to see, a tabletop faction that has always been talked about in the lore, made popular in a video game, it's just crazy, the different cycles. Sometimes they start out as a tabletop, then they turn into a video game. Sometimes you're doing video game, you turn into a tabletop. It's all great stuff. I like it when these two universes sort of collide. So things are well in Games Workshop universe. They're making more money than before. They're doing well, doing some outreach. And then you have the Henry Cavill series coming up. So some people and investors are saying, is this the new Marvel? And I'm like, man, this is going to get crazy when they see what content is really in here. You know what I mean?
Like, what's in here? Yeah.
There's some controversial stuff in there, and I just don't want them to fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'd have to sanitize too much, so I don't think it's the next Marvel.
Well, what I'm hoping is that this can be an example of, no, fuck y'all, we're not sanitizing it. And there is a few companies that still do that. For example, yeah, like Warhorse, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming up. People try to get that sanitized, and, and they said, no, this is how we're making it. This is what we're going to do. So, even in the days of Witcher 3, being too sexy and why you have, the playing cards were all like naked women and stuff. Or was that might have been Witcher 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to a swap meet, but all the playing cards they sell there it's art imitates life.
Yeah.
There's also almost 8 billion people. Where do you think they came from?
I don't know. Thank you for that visual.
Yeah, you're going to have to edit that out.
No.
We don't sanitize here.
No sanitize. Leave it in, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to zoom in it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all. We got many more stories, so check out part 2. And stay tuned for those top lists. And yes, thank you. And thank you to our sponsor. Click the links below. Protect your data and get access to everything you deserve. And we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.